This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything. What is left? We invented everything. And now it's AI. We invented everything. Does anyone have anything else to say?
So I keep seeing this, so I'm going to do a deep dive in a second. But this says the Trump administration has reportedly ordered the removal of slavery-related exhibits and signs from several national parks, while urging visitors to report any displays they consider offensive or portraying America in a negative light. All right, so slavery exhibits removed from national parks under White House order. Okay. Exhibits on slavery at several U.S. national parks have reportedly been ordered to be removed by the Trump administration. These removals include displays at Harper's Ferry National Historic Park and First President George Washington's former residence in Philadelphia, where he kept slaves. A famous 1863 photograph of an enslaved man known as Peter, right here in the corner, depicting his horrifically scarred back. We've seen this picture a lot. I don't know how TikTok is going to necessarily react about that, but y'all can see the preview of the picture here. This is the picture they're talking about. Is among the exhibits reportedly targeted for removal. The directive stems from a March executive order by the Trump administration, which aimed to purge content that inappropriately disparaged Americans past or living. Really? So erasing history, essentially. Okay. National Park Service officials are reportedly interpreting this order broadly to include information on racism, sexism, slavery, gay rights, and the persecution of indigenous people. The more you know.
The Washington Post reports the administration has ordered multiple national parks to remove information about slavery, which is part of Trump's order to eliminate, quote, corrosive ideology. But this latest purge includes the removal of history at Harper's Ferry Park in West Virginia, where the abolitionist John Brown led a raid to attempt to arm slaves for a revolt. And also this iconic photograph known as the Scourged Back. It depicts a slave, likely named Peter Gordon, in 1863 and the wounds inflicted by his abusers. Now, at the time, the picture spread quickly in the North and showed people the true cruelty of slavery, something many wouldn't have seen otherwise. We'll say a spokesperson for the Department of the Interior says that the Washington Post report is based on anonymous sources. They're cautioning that it's unverified.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a piece with the broader project that the Trump administration has had for months. I mean, he tweeted in August about museums and wanting to remove images that weren't bright and spoke to hope and the future of the country. I find it all very strange because, for me, what more great American story is there than the survival and triumph over enslavement, Jim Crow, and the repercussions therefrom?
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation.
Y'all heard the man. Whether you identify as Black, African American, American, African, Native, Indigenous, you name it, he's talking about our people on this land, in this country, even if you don't even believe that there was ever a transatlantic slave trade. Question I have is, at what point will there be policies designed specifically for the advancement of our people in this country? Is that even possible?
Hey, shalom, shalom. Keepers of sheep, Brother Kasha, back with another lesson. Otherwise, will. This video is edifying. All right, before we begin, I'd like to first start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders for Great Millstone. Shalom. And shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, and today's lesson will be titled, A City That Is Set on a Hill cannot be hid. All right. And as you can see, today's lesson is inspired by a few clips. All right. Play at the beginning of the video. And mainly, touching on Donald Trump, the president, speaking on, it says Trump moves to erase slavery from national parks, starting with powerful historic photo. All right, and as you can see, we have the photo here. All right, and the lady from the news, she went into it, and basically saying how this picture was iconic. All right, but ultimately, it just boils down to this devil, their agenda. All right, this has always been Esau's plan. All right, to cut off Jacob. All right, to cut off his brother, cut off the nation of Israel. All right, make them in roughly paraphrasing, no more remembrance. All right, he wants his blessing back. All right, so he has to do what? He has to remove us from history. All right, he has to remove the curses from us. He has to make it seem like we never existed, like we was never here, like there is no Jacob or there is no Esau. But we know through the scriptures and through prophecy that Jacob, all right, will be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, today, that make up the 12 tribes of Israel, and Esau, Edom will be who? The so-called white man. All right, the wicked. All right. This is not nothing new. All right, these devils, they continue to rewrite and change history. All right, but you gotta understand the accounts. All right, these things were already written. These things were already written before. All right, before we came here. All right, these things. This is prophecy. All right, these accounts were already recorded in the heavens. All right, so you gotta understand. He's targeting slavery. All right, because without the history of slavery, it's hard to. It's more difficult to use, the Book of Deuteronomy as an indicator of who will be the children of Israel of today. All right, who will be the Israelites, right? So, just a couple precepts. And once again, Lord's will, this video is edifying. All right, we're starting the book of Job, and it reads, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, see, he has put himself as, the judges of the earth, the gods, all right, of the earth, right? He has made himself the chosen, all right? He has made himself, he's put his face on everything, all right? He's the face of everything except for wickedness, all right? When it comes down to wicked, he doesn't identify as the wicked. He identifies as every other nationality, all right, every other race, every other people, culture, right? But except for Esau, Edom, all right, his true nationality, right? And this is this is Cain, all right. This is also Cain, all right. In the regeneration, all right, because Cain also comes from Esau, Edom, right? Let's start at. Let's get a little bit of this in Cain. Okay. We all know what happened with Cain and Abel. Cain slew his brother Abel, right? Because of ultimate jealousy. All right. The Lord didn't accept his offering, right? His sacrifice. So we'll start at 9. Matter of fact, we'll start at 8. It says Genesis 4:8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? He said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So Esau, he's always claimed to not know who are the children of Israel. Where are the children of Israel? All right. Where is Jacob? He always claims not to know where we are or who we are. All right. 10, and he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. All right. So even if we don't identify as the children of Israel, all right, the Lord, he has ways of identifying us. All right. By what? By the curses. All right. Whose blood has been shed in this land? All right. Who's on bottom? All right. Who's first fired, last hired? Right. Who is the target of America? Right. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which fit the curses of the Bible. Right. 11, it says, And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. The Lord made Cain a curse to the earth. It says, When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. That's right. So Cain has become a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And today Cain will be Esau, Edom, so-called white man. All right. So these devils have nowhere to run. All right. They're on the run. All right. And they have to, they have to change their identity. They have to hide behind lies, agendas and laws and legislations and, different cultures and things of that nature, man. But the Lord, he set a mark upon Cain, right? And we'll grab that. That way, as an identifier, all right, the same way the curses, he used the curses to identify us, he set a curse upon Cain to identify him. A mark, right? It says, And the Lord said unto him, matter of fact, we could just read down 13. It says, And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. All right. So the Lord also has identifiers, indicators, all right, for who the wicked will be today, right? Let's grab Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. It reads, Then shall the righteous man, all right, stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and made no account of his labors. All right, so now that righteous man, all right, Jacob, Yasharallah, Israel, all right, Abel, all right, he has stood up, all right, started beginning with the prophets, beginning with the men of the Lord, the elect, all right, the 144,000, they have stood up, all right, and they're taking their rightful place in the earth, in the heavens, all right, as God's chosen people, all right. It says, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness, and that's what you see happening. The men of the Lord on the highways and byways prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom. It says, Before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no accounts for his labor. All right, and that's what these devils do. These devils, they don't give us, the credit of the Israelites, of God's chosen people. They don't even give us the credit of help building this wicked kingdom, right? So we have to choose righteousness. We have to choose the Lord, right? Psalms 83. All right, this is good. This is it hits it right on the head, right? A song of matter of fact, we'll just get straight to the point. It says, Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. And going back to the title at hand, what does it say? A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. All right, we are the Most High's hidden ones. All right, hidden from what? Hidden from the world. All right, hidden behind what? Negro, Latino, Native American, hidden behind rap music, sports, right? Things of that nature. It says they have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." And it still continues today. All right, with Trump passing these laws, all right, to abolish any slavery from the national parks, man. All right, he wants to make us, cut us off from being a nation, cut us off from being a people. All right, and next thing you know, we don't, they'll be changing us from so-called African American, all right, to something else, right? Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, "The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob." All right, so he's always been out just to murder, and cut off the children of Israel, his brother Jacob, right? And you gotta understand, we was always lost from the beginning, right? Because we left the Heavenly Father. All right, we didn't keep the law, statutes, commandments. All right, so he did away with us, right? So we didn't belong to anyone, meaning we was lost, right? Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." All right, so the Lord, he came back to find those sheep, those lost sheep. All right, the Lord is only dealing with those lost sheep. All right, beginning with the elect. All right, but mainly the house of Israel, nation of Israel, man. John 10:27, and reads, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." That's right. Those sheep, they know the Lord, and they heard his voice, all right, by way of the prophets, and they have followed the Lord in this regeneration, man. All right. Proverbs 15:3, he says, "The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding evil and good." All right, so the Lord sees the works of Esau, Edom. He sees the works of the righteous. All right, meaning, cutting off, rewriting history. All right, these things don't matter. All right, the Lord has been seeing these things. All right, the angels have recorded them. All right, these things was written before time, right? Amos 9:8, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord, our power, Yahweh, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth." Talking about Babylon the Great, America. "Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord." All right, so the Lord will not cut off Jacob. All right, the Israelites are still here, and then they're going to be saved and redeemed from where? From America. All right, by way of chariots, via World War III, nuclear war. All right. And we'll close out with the main precept. All right, Matthew 5:14, it reads, really I could start at Matthew 5:12, and it reads, "Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." Right, 13 says, "Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savior, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men." And that's what happened to us, man. All right. Everything, we put in here, we put in this world, it was all vain, man. All right. Profited nothing. All right, except for doing the ministry. 14, this is the point. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Meaning, we even though our corner works, it shines, it profits little. All right, us being chosen, being God's chosen people, is the real light. All right, and that's it. That's the point, man. Lord will, this video was edifying. Until next time, I'd like to close out by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to the whole elect.